Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs are in Indiana to take on the Pacers tonight at 6. No Wemby tonight. He hurt his knee against the Knicks. Not expected to miss much time. The MRI on that hyperextended knee came back clean. Speaking of the Spurs, Mitch Johnson, the Western Conference Coach of the Month for December. First time he's won that award after guiding the Spurs to a league-best 11-3 record in December. Lots of bowl news, lots of Cowboys talk coming up on The Blitz.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Better late than never on this Friday afternoon, second day of January here, 2026. I'm Jason Minix. It is The Blitz on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. Reinagel's off today. He'll be back on Monday. Monday, everything kind of gets back into that regular routine. But it's a Friday afternoon. Bowl season officially wrapping up tonight. Of course, we've got all the college football playoffs about those Texas State Bobcats. What a weird game that was for the Armed Forces Bowl. The parachuters coming in. Only 3 made the field. One apparently landed in the parking lot, and another one hit the netting for the goalpost, got hung up, fell, but got up and walked away okay. Just a weird start to the game. And then it was, 10-7 at halftime. Texas State blows it open in the second half to win the Armed Forces Bowl. Do have a couple other bowl games going on tonight. Navy playing as we speak in the Liberty Bowl. That game is still scoreless. Then you got the Duke's Mayo Bowl tonight, as well as the Holiday Bowl, which features the SMU Mustangs. But bowl season, I think, has been great. I know a lot of us had a lack of excitement because it's not the playoffs, but so many games have been great. Were you at the Valero Alamo Bowl the other night? That was an incredible football game to be at. Goes into overtime. TCU gets the win over USC. The Texas Longhorns in a thriller. They win their bowl game. And it matters. Arizona State loses in a thriller to Duke, so I had a little the good and the bad the other day. Rooting for Arizona State, they come up short. That 41-27 win by Texas over Michigan was certainly a fun game to watch. Tennessee, Illinois. There's been some good games, right? Houston beating LSU. But it's all about the playoffs. And yesterday was one of those days where I was just looking forward to doing some grilling, all-day grazing, did some wings, did some deer sausage. I was going to do some poppers, but I was full, never ended up doing that. And I just wanted to watch great football all day long. And the first 2 games just flat out sucked. I mean, Texas Tech, and 23-0. Their defense showed up. The game wasn't that close, although Oregon scored late to really make it look ugly. But in reality, Texas Tech's offense never made it to Miami. Texas Tech's quarterback looked like that stage was too big for him. And, of course, then all the talk. They shouldn't have been there. The Big 12, the conference biases. And so you start the day with just a crap game. And then you get to the Rose Bowl. And Indiana just crushes Alabama. 38-3. And it wasn't even that close. And so what about the conference biases? Alabama, should they have been there? You get those debates. Would Notre Dame have been better? Oh, wait, Notre Dame got in or didn't get in, so Miami could. Miami takes out Ohio State. And what a game! What a game that was. What a game that was. So when you look at it and you think about the way the games went, Miami over Ohio State, And quite frankly, you look at it now, you go, all right, well, who's going in the national championship? So we had the two bad games. The game the other night was good. I don't know what day it is. It's Friday. I almost said Friday night. Wednesday night game. Turned out really good. 24-14 Miami over Ohio State. Then last night you got the thriller. The game that quite frankly, I don't know. I thought Georgia would end up winning that game, pulling away late and beating Ole Miss. It went completely opposite of that. It was Ole Miss pulling away late and beating Georgia. Some weird decision-making by Georgia that going forward on fourth down, a surprise move. Although afterwards, Kirby Smart said that they weren't supposed to snap the ball. He's got to coach better, but he totally blamed his center. They weren't supposed to snap it. Either way, I thought, man, you're going for it here because you're afraid of that quarterback over there. Chambliss is incredible, and I love this story, very much like a Cam Ward story. Out of nowhere and then playing on that big level of a stage and getting it done. And that dude was on fire last night. Just his throws in the second half, his scrambling ability, but his throws on schedule that won the game late, that incredible. Weird ending, took forever, but they got it done. And then, of course, the chaos today. Will those coaches that are joining LSU and Lane Kiffin, will they stay with the team? I think they were allowed to coach in this one because, one, that got them in, but two, they thought they were all going to lose, and then they could go to work today because, I don't know, the transfer portal is officially open today. And I wish they would stop with all these transfer portal announcements. I'd rather just get an announcement of who's in because right now I assume everybody is in the portal. It feels like everyone is in the portal. But the semifinals, Thursday night, Miami against Ole Miss. Friday night, Oregon against Indiana. And right now, and I know we get a week to talk about it, but right now, don't you have to say betting money is going to be Indiana taking on Miami in the national championship game? A Miami team that was third in the ACC. Oh, the conference biases. Versus Indiana. Unless Ole Miss pulls off another shocker, the great SEC is not going to have a team in the national championship game. The Big Ten certainly will because Oregon's in the Big Ten. Just yesterday wasn't the day I thought it was going to be. The fact that we had the blowouts that we did. I mean, I know we all expected Oregon to blow out James Madison and Tulane to get run by Ole Miss. But what we saw yesterday in the playoffs, should that happen? I mean, I know it shouldn't. You expect the committee to do better. These teams earned their way in, supposedly. I mean, Alabama, if they weren't in the SEC, would they have made it? Probably not. And if you're a Notre Dame type, you're the one sticking out your chest today saying we wouldn't have gotten blown out, and that might be true. That might be true. But you love the matchups. The games went the way they did, and it was a surprise. I was surprised Indiana doing that to Alabama. Kind of surprised Alabama that always has a great running back doesn't have a running back. Then their quarterback, who wasn't doing much anyway, gets hurt and it goes all downhill. It wouldn't have mattered because Fernando Mendoza is just that dude. And the throws that he was making and his receivers all making plays. And the fact that they just flat crushed and embarrassed Alabama was great. Texas Tech. Texas Tech. Not ready for the moment. And one of the problems in this world that we live in now where all these guys are making money, everybody's saying the money wasn't well spent. I disagree. I totally disagree. They made the playoffs. Now, I know the goal is the championship. You're spending all that money to go win a national championship. But if you're Texas Tech, and Cody Campbell, the rich dude that's writing the checks, has already said he's going to double down. Indiana last year, look at where they were, and in 2 years, where they are now. And looking like a team that might actually win the national championship, a basketball school that has bought their way into being a football school with the right coach, the right collection of players. It was weird last night on that podium. Hey, big guy, you were at Notre Dame last year and played for a national championship. How's it been your 9 months in Bloomington, right? These guys don't, I mean, they're hired guns. And that's what it is. The loyalty part, Who knows? I mean, just all of it, just weird. But Texas Tech has shown, all right, year one, this is what they can do. Now they know what they need to go fix. Are they embarrassed that they did that? I would hope so, because that was an awful performance. That was an awful performance. The fact that JMU scored a whole lot more points against Oregon, but let's not forget, they did that in the second half when a lot of Oregon starters were already out. But that quarterback looked lost from the get-go. I mean, just if you're Texas Tech, you made it. You made it to the playoffs. Nobody thought you'd get there, and you did. Now you know what you need to do to really play at that next level. Stage was too big for Texas Tech this time. That doesn't mean they'll never get another opportunity to get back there. You know, Miami, at some point this year, they turned some things around and utilized all their players and not just relying on Carson Beck, and that seems to be working. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Miami ends up playing for a national championship. And a lot of that, I got to see what do these Ole Miss coaches ultimately do. Do they continue on coaching at Ole Miss, or do they head down to Baton Rouge to join Lane Kiffin full time? But I love that quarterback there. I love Pete Golding there, the former UTSA defensive coordinator. Now, I don't know Pete Golding. I don't know him. I know he was here, but I don't know him. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Pete Golding, right? His press conferences, him taking over. But last night watching that game, the calmness in which he stayed throughout the game. I mean, this dude's been the head coach now for 2 games, both in the playoffs. One was, a gimme. Last night, you're going against Kirby Smart in Georgia. And for a while, things weren't going well for Ole Miss. And Pete Golding just stayed calm. Those pass interference penalties late, and you saw him hugging the player. He wasn't on him. He wasn't freaking out. His decision-making down the stretch, I'm kind of rooting for Pete. Anti-rooting. I don't know what to think. In all the debate, does Lane Kiffin get a ring? He got $500,000 last night sitting on his couch because LSU is paying him his bonuses that he would have gotten had he coached this team. Lane Kiffin put together a team and a staff that has a chance to go play for the right to go to the national championship, and he'll claim that. Should he get a ring? No. I heard somebody make a comparison earlier. Well, it'd be like an injured player. No, not really, because the injured player's still going to the meetings and still standing on the sideline, and they're a part of the team. Lane Kiffin left the team. Does he get credit for putting together the roster and the staff to go win a championship? Yes, but does he get to claim that he won a national championship? No. Can't do that. Can't do that. Been a fun day, fun week of football. I know there's all the debate on bowl season. I've been more entertained by the non-playoff bowl games than the actual playoff games themselves. Last night we got one, I guess of the 4 we had one really, really good game, one good game, and 2 dogs. And when you're putting together the college football playoff, that's not the percentage you're looking for in creating great matchups. Keep in mind, this committee, they're picking the right teams, but also supposedly putting together great matchups for television. 2 duds. Now, granted, I don't think many people saw blowouts coming. Sure, you've got some guys with some one-offs that called it. And congrats, man, blind squirrel. But even yesterday for the Rose Bowl, the guy sitting out there on that desk in the rain, I think 3 picked Bama, 1 picked Indiana. But and the percentages were that way. I think more people picked Bama than Indiana if you were to go get all the people that pick games. I think everybody got the Oregon game right unless you have some sort of ties to Lubbock. But overall, I don't know. Bowl season's been fun. The playoffs, not so much. And that one game last night doesn't erase the crap that I watched all day long. Because, that was some bad football. Hopefully the semifinals will be far, far better. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always comment there on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. So much to get into, including Week 18 of the NFL. A lot of games that matter this weekend. The Cowboys, they're not playing in one of them. So let's talk about all the other NFL teams as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon, the Cowboys wrap up the season in New York, taking on the Giants at MetLife Stadium. Pre-game starts at 11.
I like this kind of party.
Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam.
How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Guys, football season, we're running out of time. We got to get down on these football games, and the best place to do it is at Underdog. Plus, with Underdog Unwrapped, you're going to unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. We've got boosts, gimme picks, deal reveals, and even some surprises sprinkled in. Now is the best time to get in the game. You can make your picks and win money right now here in Texas, and playing Underdog's so easy. You pick your favorite players, or they can go higher or lower on their stats. It's as simple as that. For me, I'm on Josh Allen rushing yards. I like higher. It's that time of year, a little cold. We got to take over the game. Who do you trust more than Josh? Guys, it's simple to play. Download the app, use promo code Alamo. $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5 with promo code Alamo. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in San Antonio without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in San Antonio for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. San Antonio is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in San Antonio and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Let's get this new year started with a brand new RV from the South Texas RV Super Sale. Hundreds of RVs of every type from San Antonio area's best dealers. And free parking thanks to our dealers. Go to SouthTexasRVSupersale.com for details and tickets. January 1st through the 4th at Expo Hall.
George gets justice. After an accident, a lot of people think they can't afford a lawyer. They're already stressed, hurting, or maybe out of work. And the last thing they need is a big retainer fee to get help. But here's the truth. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you only pay if they win. Real help is within reach. Right now, call 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com. Principal Office, San Antonio.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Joe Reinagle wrapping up his vacation today. He'll be back on Monday. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Friday afternoon. It is the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's me and you today, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. On Twitter, I'm at Jason Minix. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always comment there. Make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. 1 weekend left in the NFL season. So make sure you get your picks in for the final time this year for the San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em Challenge. Go to sasportstar.com. Get your picks in. And looking at the leaderboard, there's a handful of you with a good week that could end up winning the grand prize, which is $1,000 worth of tickets from Awesome Tickets. Of course, weekly winners, one more gift card to Mellow Mushroom to give away for that. So get your picks in, sasportstar.com. And it's a weird week to pick games because you get some teams that have a lot on the line. You've got others that aren't. You got some that aren't playing, some that are resting starters, some that are playing full out. You've got, quarterbacks that you didn't know were in the league getting starts against really good play. It's hard to pick this week. So make sure you get your picks in at sasportstar.com. Now, a lot to play for, including the Houston Texans that still have a chance at winning the AFC South. We'll talk about that in about 15 minutes with our friend John McClain. The general is going to join us coming up at 4:45. Now, the Broncos, the 1 seed in the AFC, still up for grabs. The Broncos can clinch the 1 seed, home field advantage if they win, or if they tie and the Patriots lose or tie, or Patriots lose and the Jaguars have a loss or a tie. I don't know. It doesn't look like the Chargers are playing anybody. They're resting Justin Herbert. So looks like that should be an easy win for the Broncos, and they're going to end up being the 1 seed. Patriots, they could get the 1 seed if they win and the Broncos lose or tie, or the Patriots tie and the Broncos lose, which, again, that probably isn't going to happen. Especially when you look at the Broncos taking on the Chargers, and the Patriots have Miami. Now, you look at the spreads are one thing. Quinn Ewers getting his opportunity with Miami is taking advantage of the chance to get to play in the NFL. And so if the Patriots don't play their guys, Miami has a chance to win plus cover. It's going to be interesting to see. And, the fact that they're playing at the same time as the Broncos and Chargers, because the way this weekend works, the games that don't matter, basically you're at noon. I say that. I know the Texans have a game that matters, and they're playing at noon. But most of the early games don't matter. The important games are in the afternoon window. And I say that knowing that the Cardinals are also playing in the afternoon window, although they're playing against the Rams, and Sean McVay says, our team hadn't been playing good football. We're playing our guys. That includes Matt Stafford. Jaguars and Texans both have a chance at winning the AFC South. The Jaguars, they can clinch the AFC South. They still have an outside chance at the 1 seed, which isn't likely to happen. If the Jaguars win, they will be the AFC South champions. They're playing the Tennessee Titans. Now, Tennessee has been playing better as of late. Cam Ward has been playing better as of late. Jacksonville has been playing great football. Again, that's one of those games that has a crazy big line on it, but the reality is Jacksonville at home should win that game, just like Houston at home against the Colts and Riley Leonard. They don't even get old man Phillip Rivers in this one. That Texans defense should feast. That should be a big game for the Houston Texans. And D'Amico Ryan says his guys are all going to play. And C.J. Stroud needs a good get-right game heading into the playoffs. But I do still think Jacksonville will win, Houston will win, but Jacksonville will end up being the AFC South champs. You got a couple of games that, you got an AFC North championship game between the Ravens and Steelers. That one's going to be good. The 1 seed in the NFC on the line, Seattle against San Francisco. That game on Saturday, a game you can listen to here on 94.1 Saturday night. Seattle and San Francisco, of course, San Francisco at home. And you've probably heard this 1,000 times. If they win this game, they could actually make the Super Bowl without getting on another plane because they would have home field advantage throughout, and, of course, the Super Bowl this year in San Francisco. If Seattle wins, then they're going to be the 1 seed. The 49ers would not be. Carolina has a chance, believe it or not. The Carolina Panthers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A game Saturday afternoon. Another game you can listen to here on 94.1. The Panthers, if they win and the Falcons win, they'll win the NFC South. The fact that the Falcons have anything to do with anything, same with the Buccaneers. If the Buccaneers win and the Falcons lose, then Tampa Bay could end up winning the NFC South. It's bizarre, isn't it? I mean, you come down and Week 18, 12 of the 14 playoff berths have been accounted for division titles. Top seeds are still up for grabs. Some other aspects that still need to be determined. When we show up Monday, everything is all going to be set. But this weekend, there are going to be some games that you're going, why? I mean, and some of them you go, how do you even bet some of these? Others, they're going to mean everything. And that's what you love. And of course, your Sunday night game, Ravens and Steelers, another one you can listen to here on 94.1, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Ravens and Steelers. And game is at Pittsburgh. Lamar is going to play. Derrick Henry is obviously going to play. But the Steelers, coming off that loss to Cleveland and how poorly they looked offensively without DK Metcalf, you wonder. Now, the Ravens defense and the Browns defense are two different animals. Aaron Rodgers, this is what makes this game interesting for me. Aaron Rodgers, this could be his last game. Could be. Does he go out that way? Mike Tomlin not making the playoffs. Lamar Jackson has been playing well, been ripped in the Baltimore media. Prove it game. But also, the way they handed the ball off to Derrick Henry a week ago, which is a Derrick Henry fantasy owner, why haven't they been doing that all year? But I think you're going to get a heavy dose of Derrick Henry against that bad Pittsburgh run defense. And Lamar Jackson was something to prove, trying to get into the postseason. I think Baltimore goes on the road and gets that win. As for the Cowboys, they're playing at noon in a game that doesn't matter, because the games that don't matter for the most part are at noon. The Cowboys are going to play their starters. For how long, who knows? In fact, Brian Schottenheimer this morning on the Morning Huddle, as he joins the boys every week, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, was talking about playing the starters in this final game.
Yeah, well, again, it's understandable question. Again, when you talk about building something, we're in year one. We do have a chance to get to 8-8-1. That's important, not just to me, but to our players. We want to be 8-8-1. We want to go 5-1. But I will say this as well. When you talk about the roster and the way it's built, and the way the kind of the league does it, you've only got a certain amount of guys you can play. It's not like you can go into a game in the preseason when you have 90 guys. Guys have to play. And at the end of the day, these guys want to compete. These guys want to play. You've heard some of our players talk about how much this game's given them. And I think when you sign up for 17 championship opportunities, you don't do the game right, in my opinion, if you don't do everything you can to win the game. And, again, it doesn't mean there won't be some young guys that play. It won't be that, some things can get adjusted as we go. But, again, we play every game to try to win.
And again, I get that. And I know a lot of these guys want to go play. And let's start with your quarterback, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott doesn't need to play in this game. And if he gets hurt, the questions that Brian Schottenheimer and Jerry Jones are going to be asked. But you can't also play scared. Now, I've been saying for weeks, I want to see Joe Milton play meaningful reps. So does Dak get a couple of series like a preseason game? How much time will Joe Milton get? Cowboys are keeping that pretty close to the vest. I do expect him to play some. Now, that offense is going to be limited. And I know they're trying to go out there and win. And it's pride. And I get that. They want to win so they have a non-losing record. They would be 8-8-1. Somewhere Jason Garrett is clapping. Because that's hard to be a 500 team with 17 games. But the Cowboys can figure it out. But they will be shorthanded. Javonte Williams has already been rolled out with the neck and shoulder injuries. So his season is over. His first, maybe only season with Dallas, all career highs for Javonte Williams. 252 carries, 1,201 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's had a great year and has earned the right to come back. Malik Davis, though, is also been ruled out. He's not going to play. Apparently he's got a calf injury and an eye. So that means you're probably going to see a lot of Jaden Blue. It's about damn time. Jaden Blue will get his first real extensive action. Dude has only played 45 offensive snaps this year, 9 special teams snaps, 22 carries, 65 yards. And you think about when the Cowboys drafted Jaden Blue, the expectation for the former Longhorn. And if for whatever reason, dude hasn't done whatever it takes to get out on the field. The other running back that they drafted, Phil Maffa, also likely to make his NFL debut since you don't have Malik Davis and you don't have Javonte Williams. They also ruled out T.J. Bass with a knee and Overshone's out with a concussion, and corner Siobhan Ravel with a concussion. He has also been ruled out. So they're going to be thin at corner, obviously, because Ravel's out with a concussion, and Trayvon Diggs is now, well, he's a member of the Green Bay Packers. We all know that relationship was going south. We talked about it the other day. What was it, Tuesday, when he got released? All the stuff that goes along with it, the final straw, apparently him skipping the flight home. This morning, the Morning Huddle guys tried to get an answer from Shotty about what went wrong and why now on Trayvon Diggs.
No, I think, again, at the end of the day, I think it's something that we just looked at and said, hey, this is in the best interest of our football team for multiple factors. And it wasn't just say, okay, hey, let's go and now, okay, next man up. That's part of the deal. But at the end of the day, we have a strong locker room. We have guys that are truly have bought in and been a strong brotherhood, and they buy into the fact that our competitive spirit and our love for one another is what's going to drive us. And again, it's part of the business. And I wish Trayvon nothing but the best. And I have no question that Trayvon can still play the game at a high level.
Yeah, just not in Dallas. We don't want you in the locker room. And of course, he ends up with his bestie, Micah Parsons, in Green Bay. Dude's got to wear yellow pants now, and really has a chance to go get torched by the Bears this weekend and help solidify that Cowboys draft pick they're getting from Green Bay, which somebody joked on Twitter, and I wish I could remember where I saw this so I could give him full credit. But if he's able to do that, that'd be the best contribution he's made to the Dallas Cowboys this season. We'll see. Jerry had some interesting things to say about Diggs as well. We'll get into that a little bit later as we get ready for the final weekend of the NFL season. Texans, they've still got an outside chance at winning the AFC South. We'll talk about their final game of the regular season as they get ready for the postseason coming up with the General. John McClain will join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Remember, 2 games on Sunday, full slate, or 2 games Saturday, rather, full slate on Sunday. Now's a great time to get into Underdog. It's the best place to get your picks in, win money right here in Texas. And still through this weekend, Underdog Unwrapped is in play, where they've got tons of promos all throughout the holidays. Boosts, gimme picks, deal reveals, various surprises in there. Take advantage of those. And playing is easy. You just have to go higher or lower on predicted stats. So you look at Jaden Blue. He's going to basically get his first extensive action of the year. I can't wait to see where they put his number. Guy like Dak Prescott, where are they going to have his number as you're going higher or lower on passing yards, because I don't know if he's going to play an entire game. That's going to make it a lot of fun. And to get all your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Sound familiar?
At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to SASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
Texans still with an outside chance at winning the AFC South. It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle's off on this Friday afternoon. I'm Jason Minix. Let's talk about those Houston Texans with the General, John McClain, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. John, trust he had a good holiday season and got to keep working for the Houston Texans heading into the playoffs on a roll and an outside chance at winning the AFC South, although I think Jacksonville beats Tennessee and it's all for naught. But what are you expecting to see from the Texans in their regular season finale?
It's a way outside chance, Jason, because Tennessee is one of the worst teams in the league. Jacksonville has become one of the best. Jaguars know all they have to do to win is win the AFC South for the first time since 2000 17. The Texans have been dominating the division. I think what's going to happen, Baltimore is going to go to Pittsburgh, and Baltimore is going to beat the Steelers. The Steelers won in Baltimore. That means the Texans would go to Baltimore and as the top seed. And I think that is the worst opponent they could have because of this reason. They had never won in Baltimore until this season. They won 44-10. Cooper Rush started. He was awful. Lamar Jackson didn't play. 5 defensive starters did not play for the Ravens. And so they were embarrassed. And I think the Ravens, boy, you talk about a team that'd be getting revenge. Now, I thought the Chargers would get revenge, but they did not. And that was out there. But the Texans have never beaten Lamar Jackson, even though he's been out a lot this season with injuries. They have all but one of those defensive starters back. And if Lamar plays against them, I think it'll be ugly. It's been ugly against him, whether it's been in Baltimore or Houston.
Yeah, Christmas last year comes to mind when you bring that up. Now, before they get there, they've got to take care of business this week. And I've been saying almost all season long, Houston's defense is Super Bowl caliber. Their offense is not, although they show signs that they could be. And I saw where D'Amico Ryans wants his starters to play this Sunday because he's still trying to get them into a good rhythm. How much do you expect to see C.J. Stroud on Sunday? And is it too late to find a rhythm, or they are what they are, or do you think they have the ability to figure out something heading into the postseason where they're playing or could be playing their best football?
They are what they are, and they're a mediocre offensive team. Not only are they bad in the red zone, they don't even get to the red zone. They beat the Chargers Saturday. They didn't get to the red zone one time. Their 2 touchdowns were long passes and in the first quarter, and then they struggle the rest of the game. Nick Gailey, the first-year coordinator, I don't like a lot of his play calls. I don't like how they're slow to the line of scrimmage. When they speed things up, they're better. Stroud is better. Now, the offensive line has done a really good job of pass protecting this year. I see some nincompoops in the national media talk about their offensive line is bad. That shows they're not paying attention. It's not. It has done a really good job of pass pro, and that's one reason Stroud is one of the top quarterbacks throwing down the middle of the field. Problem is, when you do that, you got to have protection and be in the pocket most of the time. But they struggle with run blocking. They don't have a legitimate number one running back. They haven't had their starter, Joe Mixon, all year. So Woody Marks, 4th-round pick, rookie, he's the starter. And I think he's a good backup, a good change of pace. But that's something they've got to get rectified in the offseason. So they don't run for 150 or 60 yards. I watch other running games that work so smoothly, and I'm like, wow, what would that be like? Here, they haven't had that since Arian Foster was here, the best running back in team history. Another thing I don't understand, they can't throw a screen pass. They even try to throw a screen pass. They'll throw that quick screen, but they don't throw your traditional screen where the linemen let the defensive lineman get past them, go out in the flat, and block for the running back or a wide receiver. So there, to me, the downfall of this team will be the offense. They don't commit a lot of turnovers. They're number 2 in turnover differential. Defense is great. Special teams great. Offense is mediocre. And it is not C.J. Stroud's fault.
It really isn't, because they'll have to make a decision on C.J. Stroud this offseason, don't they?
No, they'll pick up his 5th-year option. They redid Deshaun Watson after 3 years. They could keep him there for 5 if they wanted to and then do it. Maybe they'll do it. They got Will Anderson Jr. to worry about too. But they'll pick up the 5th-year options on those guys, and they're not ever going anywhere unless they want them to. But I don't know how they feel about it. Do they go ahead? Do you do both of them? If you make one of them wait, he's going to get his feelings hurt. And if you do 2 monster contracts at the same time, somebody's got to pay. They better hope the cap goes up whole lot,
Yeah,
so they can get both of them redone.
it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. John McClain here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. You look at, and I know they were big plays in that first quarter against the Chargers, but, man, they look so good jumping out to that 14-0 lead, and then the offense just was just stuck in mud seemingly the rest of the day. Is that something – how does Nick Caley self-scout himself, or is it because they didn't even try the shots that got them those 2 first-quarter touchdowns seemingly the rest of the game? Why is that?
The Chargers had only given up 1 touchdown pass all year, 45 yards or more. Texans had 2 in the first quarter. Then they adjusted their coverage. Well, that should opened up more across the middle. And when in the second half, when the Chargers elected to start blitzing like crazy, ordinarily C.J. Stroud is really good against the blitz. But all of a sudden, the offense acted like he'd never seen a blitz. They were helpless. So they were just hanging on. They got a couple of breaks on penalties against the Chargers. I'll tell you something, in that game I've never seen, Jason. The Texans sacked Justin Herbert 5 times. They had 4 sacks wiped out because of penalties. I have never seen that. In the fourth quarter, Texans had 7 penalties and the Chargers had 9. And then the Chargers committed 2 really big ones that negated the only sack of Stroud in the game, and the other one on a play across the middle in which a guy was called for holding in the secondary. And those were big penalties in the Texans' favor. So this has been going on with them all year. When they scored a lot of points against Baltimore, they were hurting. They beat 49ers by double digits. Well, they had injuries too. So they haven't gone straight up against a really good team and scored, but all they need to do is get 20 points. They're 10-0 when they get 20 points.
Well, that's how I was about to ask you, because I know the last time they played the Colts, they won that one at Indy 20-16. The Chiefs weren't quite the same. The Cardinals, the Raiders, the Chargers were good. And you go back to the Buffalo game, they won that one 23-19. And that's just what they are, who they are. This Colts team coming in with Riley Leonard, welcome to the NFL. Now you got to play the Houston Texans defense. This one might be a game where they win like 31-13.
Well, I predicted them to get the last 2 times I predicted them to score 30 against the Titans and the Raiders. Boy, they barely won those games. So I think I picked this one 19-13. I think D'Amico will rest some of his starters, and they've been very good about playing a lot of backups during the season. They got really good backup defensive linemen, linebackers, secondary. Kamari Lassiter's definitely out. If it was a playoffs, he would play. I think it's smart to keep him out. They had to move 3 players around because of injuries in the offensive line against the Chargers, and 2 guys that came in played really well. So they played a lot of backups. They're loaded at wide receiver. And if Davis Mills has to play, he was only 3-0 as a starter.
Absolutely. John McClain here on the Blitz. I know that's the Texans game is at noon, which is weird because I guess it feels like all the meaningless games are in the noon window. All the games that matter are in the 3 o'clock window, although the AFC South up for grabs with 2 teams playing in the noon window. Let's look at the 2 games that are being played on Saturday. The NFC South is as bizarre as it could be, trying to figure out who's going to win that division. And the Falcons, that have no chance at winning the division, have a say in who will actually win. They play on Sunday. But what do you make of what's happened with Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
It's obvious Jason Mayfield's hurt. He's been hurt for quite a while. He started off great, and then he got hurt. I don't know if it's one injury he's playing with, multiple injuries, but they're playing terribly right now. They have a lot of their injured players back that they didn't have earlier in the season. So I'd hate to see, Atlanta wins, Carolina loses, Carolina wins a 3-way tie, goes into the playoffs as a division champion with a losing record. You know, that's a team everybody would want to play. The Panthers, I believe, even though it would be on the road. And the big game Saturday night.
Yep.
I'm not picking against Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers. He's my coach of the year based on everything he's overcome. And then the big one for the affects the Texans, Baltimore going to Pittsburgh. I think Baltimore will win, but I think Texans will be a lot better off trying to defend against 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers instead of Lamar Jackson, who's well rested from all that rehabilitation he's been undergoing this season.
Yeah, and again, I look at that game, and I think Baltimore wins. I picked them in our Pro Football Pick'em Challenge to win, but part of me is afraid to pick against Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin with everything on the line. I just can't see Aaron Rodgers going out, if this is his last game, without it being a playoff game.
I saw a stat today that Mike Tomlin is 7-1 as an underdog against the Ravens. Well, the Texans and their fans better hope he becomes 8-1. And there's a lot of talk that the loser of that game, coach might not be back. There's no decision still going to be made on a coach after one game. If they're going to make a change, they already know it. You don't need one game to determine what you do. If you're an owner, I'd be surprised if one of them left. If they did, they'd get a job before sundown, be like when Andy Reid was fired by the Eagles and the Chiefs were on the line and they hired him the same day. That's the way it'd be with Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh.
Absolutely. John McClain joining us here on the Blitz. Now, you mentioned Coach of the Year candidate Kyle Shanahan, and I believe you still have a vote in that. My vote would either be with Ben Johnson with what he's done in his first year in Chicago, or even ahead of Ben Johnson, what Liam Cohen has done in his first year with Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Both of them have done great jobs. Mike Vrabel's done a great job. D'Amico Ryans is not going to he might get a couple of votes because of what he's done after an 0-3 start with the winning streak that should hit 9, tying the all-time record in 2018 when they lost in the wild card round here to the Colts when Bill O'Brien was still the coach. But the 49ers had a losing record last season. They let go of a lot of players, good players, in the offseason to try to get their salary cap under control. And then they lost their two best defensive players, Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, and they play in the toughest division. And if they beat the Seahawks, they have home field advantage. Everybody says the best job he's ever done. I've never seen so many worthy candidates. Some will say Mike McDonald, but he was 10-7 in his first year. And yes, he's done a terrific job, but I don't think he's done what the others have done. And turnarounds are what usually wins it. But it's going to be the toughest coach of the year vote I've ever seen.
Well, and what about the MVP vote? Because I thought it was Matt Stafford's up until Monday night. Not that one game should cost you. I like what Drake May has done this year, and to me, it's a toss-up between those two.
If it's the full body that you look at, and I've seen their stats up next to each other, and I think of the competition in the NFC West compared to the competition in the AFC East, in which Buffalo is down, and the Patriots. Now, they can't help that they've played the easiest schedule in the NFL, but I would vote. Now, if Drake May has a great game and Stafford has another bad game, but everybody has a bad game. Stafford's had 2. But if you look up at their stats and you see who they've done it against, I'm going with Stafford.
That's where I'm at right now. And then, and it's not just a combination, although it shouldn't be looked at this way because he is having an MVP caliber season, but the Career Achievement Award, because if he adds that to his collection of awards, surefire Hall of Famer, even though I think now he probably is, but you add Super Bowl champ and a regular season MVP, he's definitely getting a gold jacket.
Yeah, he's definitely getting in. My offensive player is Christian McCaffrey. My defensive player is Myles Garrett. I haven't decided on offensive and defensive rookie. And executive of the year, that's one that I keep telling people, tongue-in-cheek, of course, Andrew Berry of the Browns should get consideration for the way he's helped the Texans rebuild with his trade for Deshaun Watson.
It's like Ryan Eagle talking about Jerry Jones winning Executive of the Year.
Well, at one point, we were talking about it, but that point was long ago.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, the argument there, yeah, you made the trade for Pickens, and you also made the trade for Parsons. You added well throughout the year, but my goodness, what a disaster in Dallas this year.
You know, a lot of people think that Jerry Jones should be bringing in Troy Aikman to evaluate his front office, but of course that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. It's kind of weird you bring that up, that of all teams, he's apparently going to consult with Miami.
Yep, Miami's hired him to consult with on that general manager's job. And I like that because I want a guy who's watched a lot of film. And he's had to watch a lot of film preparing for Monday Night Football. Plus, he's a smart guy, watched a lot of film his whole career, is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. I think that's a very shrewd move by the Dolphins. And it's going to be interesting to see about who he recommends as a GM. And what do they think about Mike McDaniel coming back as the head coach? Mike Florio had on Pro Football Talk today criticism during a Dolphins game 2 or 3 weeks ago in which Aikman just eviscerated McDaniel and his strategy and his play calling at the end of a game. And if you read there, you're like, whoa, there's no way. Now, they're saying he's not being asked about the coach, but you know he is.
Yeah,
the owner's going to want to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think about our team?
Yeah,
he's probably going to say start over.
Yeah. Quarterback, coach, GM, clean house completely, which, and again, I don't see it happening, but reading the different rumors that they're going to make a play for Lamar Jackson to get him down to Miami. I don't see that happening either, but I mean, Baltimore won. I don't even know if you answer the phone if somebody calls wanting to talk about that, but the package it would take to get him would handcuff you it's not like they are that close.
Well, he's 29 years old. He's coming off his worst season in the NFL. He's had an injury-prone season. He's taken a lot of shots. And there's people, they could get 3 number ones. They're not going to get 3 number ones. People say, well, Kyle Shanahan gave up 3 ones for Trey Lance. He did, but he got 1 back.
Yep.
So it's 2 that he gave up. And Lamar Jackson, I don't know if I'd give up 2 ones and more for him. If he's coming off a better season, maybe. But if he's coming off a better season, we wouldn't be hearing all this.
Absolutely true. John McClain. Make sure you're following John on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL. Enjoy the football weekend. Next Thursday, we'll be previewing that first-round playoff matchup.
That sounds great, Jason. Thank you, and Happy New Year to all your listeners.
Appreciate it. Happy New Year to you as well. The great John McClain here on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. Boy, yesterday was kind of a dud day in the college football playoffs until the nightcap. Let's talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, your heater, this time you might need both your AC and your heater. You always need your plumbing. You got issues, there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899. 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quartermoon, they do not have commission sales reps. They will provide estimates and second opinions. They do have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. Plumbing issues, AC, heater, one company. Quartermoon, call them 210-651-5899. 651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Blitz. 2 to 6 on YouTube and always at sasportstar.com.
Over 3 million Texans struggle with diabetes. There are neighbors, teachers, doctors and nurses, police officers, and often their family members. Across every walk of life, Texans may be fighting a serious health battle, but there's hope for a cure. Right now, when you make a donation to HelpStopDiabetes.com, Thomas J. Henry will generously match your donation, with all proceeds supporting the American Diabetes Association. Because when we take care of each other, we take care of Texas. Please, make your donation today. Visit HelpStopDiabetes.com.
Football season is heading into the home stretch. Jason Minix here for Underdog. and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Plus, with Underdog Unwrapped, you'll unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. They've got boosts, gimme picks, deal reveals, and even some surprises sprinkled in. Now is the best time to get in the game, and of course, you can make your picks and win money right here in Texas, and it's easy to do it. You just pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
This college football season, the Crunch Time Hero of the Week is brought to you by PorkRinds.com, the nation's premier hub for pork rind lovers everywhere. Each week, a college player will post on Instagram, and each share over a 2-week period equals a $1 donation to the Archer Foundation, which helps families who are dealing with DIPG, DMG, pediatric brain cancer. Giving back with the perfect snack to celebrate those big Crunch Time plays. Find your rind at PorkRinds.com or find Southern Recipe pork rinds at HEB. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 11th. Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, and Jeremiah Smith played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets on sale at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Spurs take on the Pacers tonight in Indianapolis. No Wemby. Hurt his knee against the Knicks. MRI on that was clean. They'll also be without Devin Vassell. He had an MRI. He's got a left adductor strain. No word on how long he will be out. Mitch Johnson named the Western Conference Coach of the Month. Texas State got a big win today in the Armed Forces Bowl. They roll Rice 41-10. Navy currently leads Cincy 14-7 in the Liberty Bowl.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
The third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Glad to have you along on this Friday afternoon. Joe Reinagel's off. He'll be back on Monday. I'm Jason Minix. Get me on Twitter at Jason Minix. You can also dial us up. We can talk the old-fashioned way. 210-656-ESPN. 656-3776. You can also comment on the YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Just saw a comment on there saying, did you see what happened at the Armed Forces Bowl? If you missed it, man, it's all over. The videos are all over Twitter. It's the Armed Forces Bowl. Had an incredible flyover. And then the parachute team, that didn't go well. One dude didn't make it in the stadium. And one dude hit the lines where the field goal netting is. And he kind of got trapped for a moment and then dropped. Scary as hell looking. But the dude, he's tough. Got up and walked away. How? I don't know. That could have been. That could have been. I mean, when you see those happen live, it is amazing. And every year at the Army-Navy game presented by USAA, that's one of the highlights, is watching both the Navy and Army jump teams parachute into the stadium. It's always incredible. And what they're doing on their way down and all that different stuff. And it truly is amazing. You don't see guys miss like what happened in Fort Worth today. It is scary. But when that guy hit that line, now he's hanging there and then dropped, lucky. Especially coming off of the Alamo Bowl. If you've noticed, there was a guy there, and Rob and I saw this guy. I didn't know who he was. But he's got two prosthetic legs, and he was carrying a little dog. Turned out that was the former TCU quarterback who years ago had that incredible comeback win over Oregon. Bram, whatever, right? And I didn't know it at the time. We were like, what's that guy doing here with a dog? Well, that was Bram. He lost his feet, I guess part of his legs, in a hunting accident where he was shooting hogs out of a helicopter and fell out of the helicopter. Incredible story. And when I saw that guy in the Armed Forces Bowl hit that and fall, that's what I was thinking of. Crazy. Crazy. You go watch the videos. He's okay, so you can go watch the video. But pretty wild scene to start the Armed Forces Bowl. Former Reagan quarterback Brad Jackson, the MVP, had an incredible game for Texas State. Really an incredible second half. That game was 10-7 at halftime and 41-10 the final score. The Bobcats getting the win. It is the final day of bowl season. I know the playoffs are still going, but the bowls are wrapping up today. The Armed Forces Bowl earlier today. Of course, Texas State wins that one. Navy winning right now in the Liberty Bowl. And then you've got a couple of games still to come tonight with SMU playing in the Holiday Bowl. Trying to think what other bowl games there are. And the Duke's Mayo Bowl is later tonight. So, and then we've just got the playoffs. And the playoffs to this point have been a dud. I know we had an incredible game last night. Ole Miss over Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And that was a great game, an incredible finish. Incredible game. But I thought yesterday was going to be a great day of football starting at 11 a.m. I'm going to get 3 great games. And we got one. And it was the nightcap. We got to start the game with Oregon shutting out Texas Tech 23-0. And if you went out New Year's Eve and you were hungover, this game was perfect for you because you were sitting in your recliner, laying on your couch, and asleep. And that game had zero intensity. The Tech defense showed up. The Tech offense was a disaster. That stage way too big for that quarterback. Oregon's defense is good, but they're not that good. And Texas Tech offense isn't that bad. But that was an embarrassing, piss-poor performance by the Texas Tech offense. Was it the layoff? The trend continues that teams with the bye lay an egg. Who knows? For Texas Tech, Cody Campbell, their billionaire donor dude, said he's going to double down. And they should. If you're Texas Tech, sure, you're embarrassed at that loss. If you're a Red Raider fan, that was as bad as it gets, right? That was. You finally get to the big stage, you think you belong, and you get your teeth kicked in. But Indiana has shown that you can get back there and you can improve on it. And that's what Cody Campbell intends to do. Joey McGuire, who I love, he intends to do that. I don't think that the run is over for Texas Tech. I don't look at them as being a one-year wonder and go back to the Big 12, although while they were playing and just getting hammered in the Big 12 overall, getting hammered on social media with the conference biases that are certainly there, it was bad. They'll go spend some more money. That was a team that's going to have a lot of roster turnover anyway, just because the way that, well, every team has roster turnover now. But I think Texas Tech will build, and they've got the money to sustain at least for a couple more years. Eventually, all these rich dudes are going to get tired of writing checks and not winning championships. But if you're Texas Tech, you got to the playoffs, that's step one. Now, you watch that boring-ass football game. Then you get to the Rose Bowl. Indiana, Alabama. Boy, this game was supposed to be great, wasn't it? Most everybody picked Alabama. And I think part of that is because we look at Indiana as a basketball school. And you wonder just how good they really are. I think they showed us all. Indiana is for real. Fernando Mendoza was incredible yesterday. His receivers were incredible. But, you know, their line play was just dominant on both sides. They won in the trenches, and that allowed for everything else to happen. Alabama, I can only imagine what Paul Feinbaum's show was today, because they just got their teeth kicked in. All the SEC bias. Should they have been there? All that stuff is certainly in play, and they deserve it. If you're Oklahoma, you're wondering how the hell did you lose to that team? I think that's just Indiana is that good. And Alabama, when was the last time Alabama didn't have a running back? They haven't been able to run the ball well. Ty Simpson wasn't good because that Indiana defense was better. Then he got hurt, and I don't know. Next year, don't be surprised when Alabama's back. Ty Simpson, I expect to be back at Alabama, not going to the NFL. He'll make more money next year at Alabama. He's not a first-round pick. Another year, first-year starter. Another year for him. Maybe he plays his way into it. We'll see. Then you got to the nightcap. Finally, we got a good football game. I even tweeted, man, I hope this game is better than the first two. Because of all the games that you thought might be a blowout, it was this one. This was the one game that you might have thought was going to be a blowout. Georgia and Ole Miss. And everything going on with Ole Miss and whatnot. And yet it was the best game, obviously, but Ole Miss getting the win. And that game had everything. And I thought all three games were going to be like what we got last night in the Sugar Bowl. You know, the Trinidad Chambliss story's been incredible all year, but obviously you're making it into the playoffs and more noticing and hearing about him and, you know, the coaching staff that stayed. Those guys made plays. Georgia, Kirby Smart had some not-so-smart decisions. That fourth down one, but that's how Kirby coaches. You know, like on that fake punt. That's what he does. Weird ending to the game, obviously, but that was a hell of a football game. Ole Miss and Georgia made yesterday worth it because, man, I just felt like we had wasted a great day of football to that point. And the way they have it all set up where those are the only games on and they're getting the spotlight, so what are you going to tune to? Nothing, right? You're watching them. The game, was it Wednesday night? Miami and Ohio State. That was a good football game. So of the four playoff games this weekend, two were really good. One was really good, one was good, and two were awful. And then you're going to have the committee. You know, you're going to have the Notre Dame type saying that they would have played better. And they might have. They probably would have. But nobody thought Miami should be there. And now you look at Miami, they look like a team that could end up in the national championship game against Indiana. But can Indiana beat Oregon twice? Thursday night, you get Miami and Ole Miss. And a lot of questions. And unless something has happened on Twitter in the last 20 minutes, and I haven't seen it, Edwin, I don't know if you've seen anything, there's a lot of questions about that Ole Miss coaching staff. The dudes that, you know, are on loan from LSU, will they be able to continue? Or is LSU going to say, all right, portal's open, you got to come work here. You're under contract with LSU. The fact that there's questions about that. You know, it was one thing for Lane Kiffin to allow those coaches to go back to appease the committee that the only thing changing is the head coach, the play caller, and all that other. They're going to be there. And now they might not be for the national semifinal games. Wow. And the fact that it's 5:13 on a Friday and there's still no clarity on that. Now, I would imagine today, for those guys that are going to end up working at LSU, with the portal opening today, they've been doing nothing but LSU duties. But they play on Thursday night, Ole Miss does. So by Sunday, they've got to start working on their game plan. I mean, they do, if they're going to coach there. Or Pete Golding has to know one way or the other who's going to call plays, who's going to do what if those guys end up not being allowed to continue with the team. And listening to the announcer crew last night, some of them made the decision on their futures based on Lane Kiffin allowing them to coach in the playoffs. And while I believe it was Sean McDonough on the broadcast last night say, well, he didn't exactly say this, but it was implied, he would have stayed at Ole Miss if he wasn't allowed to finish out this season with this team. But he did sign a contract with LSU. But I think even Ole Miss thought they were going to lose. And so, yeah, one game or two games, you know, go beat Tulane and then lose to Georgia and then come to work for LSU the day the portal opens. Surprise, they won the game. And then what happens if they beat Miami and then they've got to play in the championship game? Can they actually spend that much time away from LSU? Will Lane Kiffin allow that? Very interesting situation. But again, we were all told, no, go coach. Go coach. Well, Lane Kiffin's got some decisions to make. Hell, he made $500,000 last night because LSU is paying him his bonuses that he would have gotten from Ole Miss. Crazy. And then you think about all the other bowl games. And, man, there have been some great bowl games. The bowl season games have been better than the college football playoff games. There have been some great games. That Longhorn game was phenomenal. The Valero Alamo Bowl was phenomenal. Duke, Arizona State was a hell of a game, although I wish Arizona State would have won. Iowa beating Vandy was a hell of a game. Illinois over Tennessee was a hell of a game. And I saw ESPN tweet out some ratings numbers for everybody that was saying, I'm not interested in the bowls. You've been watching. You've been watching a lot. In fact, through the games December 27th, so this doesn't include the Alamo Bowl and some of these other games, through December 27th, 4 of ESPN's 23 bowl games posted their highest audiences on record. 8 of 23 hit at least a 10-year high. 9 hit a 5-year high. UTSA in the First Responder Bowl, 3.1 million tuned in for that one. That's the best on record for the First Responder Bowl. And they all saw Jeff Traylor's team crush FIU. The Pop-Tarts Bowl had 8.7 million. It's pretty impressive. I mean, you start looking at some of these bowl numbers, man. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, 7.6 million. The Gator Bowl had 6 million. 2.9 million. Watch the Texas Bowl. So think about that. The First Responder Bowl with UTSA and FIU had 3.1 million. The Texas Bowl with LSU in Houston had 2.9 million. People are watching, and the games have been good. For the most part, the games have been good. Right now, halftime, Navy leading Cincinnati in the Liberty Bowl. Been a good game. You got 2 bowl games tonight. Got the Spurs tonight. Got football this weekend. You know there's no better place to go watch any of those games than at the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. With those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around, the Roo Pub is the go-to spot for any big game, any big fight. And when you get into the Roo, go hungry. The food is fantastic. Love the fried shrimp over there. They got the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu, great salads, I'm told. The appetizers are incredible, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late-night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 11th. Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, and Jeremiah Smith played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets on sale at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
Let me tell you about my friends at Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. I love mine. Had it in the house now for some time, but I noticed the difference right away. You know, I was really skeptical. I really thought that, how could it be that much better than anything else I've ever had? But it is, and it is head and shoulders better than anything else I've ever had. Connecticut has been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. All their products are made in America, and what I love about it is you don't plug it in. It runs on that kinetic energy. Whatever it runs on, it provides great soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And right now, for a limited time, they're going to give you a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they will install right at your kitchen sink. It's like bottled water right there at your kitchen sink. Also going to give you $400 of your trade-in of your old water softener. And how about some free money? 0% interest for 12 months. 0% interest for 12 months. It is a great deal. You know it's not going to last too long. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com. You know the jingle. Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Kohl's new clearance markdowns are intense. Up to 70% off is the kind of deal that'll leave you feeling stunned and make you whisper things like, "Where have you been my whole life?" to a cardigan. Just take a deep breath, steady your cart, and try to act normal. But it's not possible. The savings are just too good. Shop new clearance markdowns now in-store and online at Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
This is the home of the Aggies.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle off today. I'm Jason Minix. Friday. Saw somebody post, and it makes so much sense, although funny. You work on a Friday after having a couple of days off, maybe ending your vacation. You work one day, and then the weekend is there. Kind of how I feel after having the last couple of days off. You know, maximizing Reinagle. I did it during Christmas week, so I can't. But Reinagle, you get a whole week off, but it only cost you, 3 PTO days, but 2 fall in last year. Our company doesn't let you carry over, which is frustrating. So 1 day this week, but he's been gone for a week, which is cool. I did the same thing last week during Christmas. Works out. So if you're working this 1 day and then you get your weekend, man, get ready to enjoy the weekend. Lots of football, 2 big games on Saturday. In fact, both NFL games on Saturday you'll be able to listen to here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. On Sunday, of course, at noon, we get the Cowboys and Giants to wrap up the season. Brian Schottenheimer, the Cowboys head coach, as he's done every Friday throughout the season, on with the guys from the Morning Huddle, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, says the starters, including Dak Prescott, will play. The guys asked him why. Don't you need to protect Dak?
Yeah, well, again, it's understandable question. Again, when you talk about building something, we're in year one. We do have a chance to get to 8-8-1. That's important, not just to me, but to our players. We want to be 8-8-1. We want to go 5-1. But I will say this as well. When you talk about the roster and the way it's built, and the way the kind of the league does it, you've only got certain amount of guys you can play. It's not like you can go into a game in the preseason when you have 90 guys. Like, guys have to play, and at the end of the day, these guys want to compete. These guys want to play. You've heard some of our players talk about how much this game's given them, and I think when you sign up for 17 championship opportunities, you don't do the game right, in my opinion, if you don't do everything you can to win the game. And again, it doesn't mean there won't be some young guys that play. It won't be that, some things can get adjusted as we go. But, again, we play every game to try to win.
I get that. I do. But it's a meaningless game. Now, protecting Dak Prescott is one thing, but I also want to see Joe Milton play. You need to see this guy to know if he is a good, solid, game-ready backup quarterback. And in a couple years, could he be the guy that replaces Dak Prescott? Because we know Prescott can't play forever, and my goodness, can he get another contract from Dallas? No. So you got to know what you have in Joe Milton. Now, you mentioned some young guys are going to play. Jaden Blue is going to get a lot of playing time because Javonte Williams has been ruled out. Dealing with those injuries, his season is done. Career highs for Javonte Williams in rushing yards, touchdowns, and carries. His season, though, is over. Malik Davis has also been ruled out of this game. So Jaden Blue, by default, is finally going to get to play. So many expectations for this dude getting drafted last year out of Texas, coming in and hadn't been able to find the field for a variety of reasons. He's going to get a lot of run. Phil Maffa, who was the 7th-round pick, currently still on IR, but he's expected to be activated because they got to have more than one running back, and so you expect Phil Maffa to play. The question is, Dak is going to start. How long does he play? And Dak said this week he does not want to know what Brian Schottenheimer's thinking as far as number of series or number of touchdowns. You know, if you go out and you get 14 points right away, you're done, or 21, whatever that number is. Dak just wants to go play until he's told to go sit out. And you appreciate the competitive nature. And I'm not surprised hearing Brian Schottenheimer say that this morning on the Morning Huddle or during his press availability this week, because you go back to when he got named the head coach, and one of the things that he's doing in building his culture, and it was on T-shirts, it was on their key cards out in Oxnard, compete every day. And you got a game, go play. And I do think it's important to them to finish 8-1, to not have a losing record. Seems silly, but I get it. You know, and it's hard in a 17-game season to go 500. Yet the Cowboys, with the win against the Giants, who are trying to wrap up the 1 seed, are going to have the ability to do that. Although I don't think they're going to end up with the 1 seed because they beat the Raiders last week. That said, it is wrapping up year 1 for Brian Schottenheimer. And by all accounts, dude has done a hell of a job. Record is what it is. No playoffs is certainly frustrating. Rob and AJ this morning asked Brian Schottenheimer the best part of his year 1 and the most disappointing part of his first year as head coach.
I think the high is just, again, the type of guys we got in the locker room. I'm always going to go there. I mean, this is really a special group. This will actually be our last Friday practice of this really football team, the Dallas Cowboys of 2025. And that's, again, because of what we talked about earlier, how fast things change and move and things like that. But I really am. I'm not just saying that. Those are not just words. I really do love those guys in that locker room. And why? I love them because of how hard they work, how much they've bought in, just the way that they approach what we're doing. I think that's just something that I certainly really appreciate and love those guys for. And then, you know, the area that probably keeps me up at night that I'm disappointed in, and it certainly does have a huge factor of why we're not in the postseason, and that's the fact that we did not win the turnover battle this year. You know, we did not get enough takeaways on defense, and we turned it over too much on offense. And when you look at the teams and you just pull the numbers, we did it yesterday with the team. And because you're trying to paint pictures of why. You know, you want these guys to understand why. And we showed the top teams in the league and the bottom teams in the league. And I think, you know, the best team in the league right now is the Bears. They're plus 20 or whatever it is, and we're down there -8. And there's the strongest correlation is if you are in double digits in the turnover margin, you are going to make the playoffs, and it's almost a certainty. And we have to fix that. We will fix that in 2026 because it is too big of a determining factor of whether you win or lose football games.
They're going to fix that next year. Now, as every team does at the end of every year, they have their exit interviews with the players, and they do all these evaluations. It's not like season ends Sunday, they fly home and go on vacation. A lot of work gets done next week for that coaching staff as they wrap up this year. And one of the big decisions that needs to be made is defensive coordinator. You heard a man talk about part of the most disappointing part of the year was their inability to take the ball away. That defense was awful this year, awful. Now, you heard Eberflus this week talk about, well, yeah, you know, you don't have a pass rusher. Hey, Jerry, you traded away our best player right before. You wonder about the future of Matt Eberflus in Dallas. Now, a couple weeks ago, I thought he was out based on some things that you were hearing from Jerry Jones. Last week, Jerry Jones almost was like on a PR tour for Matt Eberflus. And this morning, Jerry was on 105.3 The Fan and continued saying that, man, Eberflus isn't the only guy to blame for how bad the defense was.
No one coach, in this particular case, Eberflus, should be saddled with well, the reason we didn't have a better defensive team or defensive statistics was Eberflus. That's not the case. What that defense represents is personnel department. That represents above that, my department. Represents everybody involved in contracts. We all take it, and that's no kidding. Because when somebody breaks in there and makes that winning touchdown, everybody associated with this thing should pat themselves on the back and say, I made that touchdown. I did it with my stuff. And that's exactly the way I feel about the defense, and we'll approach it from that standpoint. And I'll assure you, we won't walk in there and say, you know what, Eberflus and this guy over here and this guy over here, let's change that out and it'll all be. Let's go get a Coke and let them think about it. That's not how it works.
Fireflus. A couple weeks ago, I thought he was done. If it were my call, he'd be done. Jerry on this PR tour. And again, he's a friend. That's one of Jerry's hires. It'd be 2 years in a row that he's hired somebody that he's familiar with, and it didn't work out. And that comes back to Jerry Jones, who did want to say that, you know, for you fans out there listening, that front office, man, they're doing everything they can to make this team Super Bowl caliber.
Well, I've used this analogy on the other day when I was asked a pretty similar question. And it reminds me of the old gold miner out in the 49er days of the gold rush of San Francisco. And that old broken down gold miner, he's got a bad back. His hands are got so much arthritis to him from swinging that pick. And he's sitting out there and he's just picking on rock and nothing's happening. But the most sure way for nothing to happen is for him to quit picking. And so you keep swinging the pick. Now, from the day that we've become involved here, we've said we're going to swing the pick. And so that hadn't changed. But we're sure not going to quit. And I'll assure you that I've been in many things in my life, including times with the Cowboys, that type of persistence breeds the kind of results our fan wants, and that's a winning football team.
Mm-hmm. Hearing him talk about taking those swings with that pick reminds me of Greg Popovich and that Jacob Reese quote about pounding the rock. That was a quote of Pop's a long time ago. Ended up winning 5 championships. Jerry's been swinging that pick for 30 years without even sniffing the NFC championship game. But he's going to keep swinging the pick. I think the offseason is going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see the Cowboys and the decision they make at defensive coordinator, which is going to be the first, second, third, and fourth question asked every time that guy does an interview until he makes an announcement. It is. And that's a decision that they could make Sunday night on the plane ride home. Black Monday. Normally he's reserved for head coaches. We're all going to be, keeping our eye out on a defensive coordinator. Of course, the question is, who are you going to hire that's better? Okay. That's an easy question. There are a lot of guys seemingly better than Matt Eberflus at that job. But then you got to remember, Jerry likes to have familiarity with guys that are in position like that. Somebody that has worked for him before that he trusts. You know how Jerry hires things. Hopefully Brian Schottenheimer can have some influence, but that is totally a Jerry call, not the head coach's call, because the Cowboys do it differently. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Spurs playing tonight. They're going to be shorthanded. Devin Vassell out, Wemby out. Let's talk about it coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Let me tell you about Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. One company handles all your issues if you're having trouble at the house or at the office. Call them, 210-651-5899, 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they've got a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. They do not have commissioned sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they are experts at worst-case scenarios. And for the most part, if you're calling them, you've got some issues. It's an emergency for you. It's another day that ends in Y for them. They're great at what they do. They're full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. They've got all the equipment needed for any job, from a faucet leak to a leak in your slab and everything in between. Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 10th. Jeremiah Smith, Puka Nakua, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets available at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
O'Reilly. Trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the products for your next oil change. Right now, get 5 quarts of Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a Wix filter for $35.99. Plus, get a $15 gift card after rebate. Limits apply. See your O'Reilly Auto Parts store for details or shop O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you can put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Football season is heading into the home stretch. Jason Minnick's here for Underdog, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Plus, with Underdog Unwrapped, you'll unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. They've got boosts, gimme picks, deal reveals, and even some surprises sprinkled in. Now is the best time to get in the game, and of course, you can make your picks and win money right here in Texas, and it's easy to do it. You just pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with a lifetime subscription for 65% off. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-714-9090. That's 800-714-9090.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The largest gun show in San Antonio is at the Shriner Auditorium this weekend. Texas Gun Shows is open today, 4 to 7 p.m., 10 a.m. to 5 Saturday, and then 10 a.m. to 4 Sunday. Texas Gun Shows is at the Shriner Auditorium on 1604 today through Sunday.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. That was abrupt. It just ended?
It just ended.
It just ended?
It's only 24 seconds.
Yeah, all right.
The full shot clock.
Yeah, I hear you. Edwin producing. James is out today. We're all back on Monday. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagle's off. He'll be back on Monday. Rob and AJ both worked this morning, though, right?
They tried to get off, but they couldn't, so they had to work.
They tried to get off, but couldn't.
Yeah.
On a Friday?
Yeah, they wanted to, but they couldn't.
I'll tell you, the day that Rob should have taken off was Wednesday morning. Were you here Wednesday morning?
No, I was off that day.
You were off?
Yeah, Vic came back.
Oh, Vic's alive?
Yeah.
All right.
I filled in for him on Monday and Tuesday, but he came back on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Is it just, and then this week, was he here? Was he here today?
He was here today.
Oh, okay. You know, the holiday schedule is what it is, right? And at our place, you're not allowed to carry over vacation days. So everybody's trying to use them at the end of the year, but even some, it's like, dude, you got to work. There's shows. You know, I mean, you got to work the day after the big, and you want to. Trust me, our job is everybody else's hobby. I get that. You know, it's Friday afternoon. We start after the Texas State game, which was a blowout, 41-10. And Navy right now leading 21-7 in the Liberty Bowl. Go Navy. Always. Go Navy. Beat Army. But it's been one of those weird weeks, especially when you add in the holidays. But there are days that you want to work in this business. You know, after a big football weekend, after a big football day like what we were supposed to have yesterday, to come in and talk about the great playoff games that we had. I mean, that's what you're in this business for. I mean, you know, phone lines. I mean, imagine what Paul Feinbaum's show was like with all those Alabama people calling Paul after Alabama got destroyed at 38-3. Thought we'd hear from a lot of Texas Tech fans today, but trust me, everybody that you know that's a Red Raider fan, they're not wearing their gear today after they got embarrassed by Oregon down in Miami, 23-0. Good Lord. Yesterday was supposed to be a great day of football, and it wasn't. We had those blowouts in the first round because, well, JMU didn't belong and Tulane didn't belong. Yet Alabama, questionable whether they should have been in, had that incredible comeback win over Oklahoma, and then they get destroyed by Indiana. One good game yesterday, Oregon and Georgia. And most people had Georgia winning that game. That was the one game that you looked at and thought, yeah, this could be ugly. Georgia could roll. With everything going on at Ole Miss, if Ole Miss would have gotten blown out, I don't think any of us would have been surprised. The fact that Ole Miss won, that is a bit of a surprise. And now there's some chaos because Lane Kiffin may not allow those coaches to continue to coach at Ole Miss because they got LSU work to do because the portal opened today. Now, if you're a Texas Tech fan, I know you're pissed off and embarrassed about the way your team showed up on that big stage. Stage clearly their quarterback was not ready for. Offensively, they weren't ready for. That Tech defense was solid. But they're trying to find another quarterback, and that Brendan Sorsby guy has 2 visits planned, Texas Tech and LSU. Now, Brendan Sorsby is the Cincinnati quarterback who's hit the portal. And he's supposed to go visit Texas Tech today and then go on to Baton Rouge. He is the number 1 ranked player in the ESPN portal rankings. Cody Campbell is going to have to step up dollar-wise if he's going to end up in Lubbock. But if you're a Texas Tech fan, you had a hell of a year. You had a great ride. And then you got embarrassed. But Indiana has proven you can be more than a one-year hit wonder because they're back in year 2, and they look like a team that could go win a national championship. Can they beat Oregon twice in 1 year becomes the question. But the way they just completely destroyed Alabama, man, they look like that team. Indiana basketball school. not known as a football power, not a blue blood. If you're Texas Tech, man, that's the blueprint. And you got a guy in Cody Campbell who's willing to write the check. And if I'm Cody Campbell and I'm talking to Brendan Sorsby and he's coming to Lubbock first and then going to see Lane Kiffin, I don't let him leave Lubbock. I mean, what's the number? It's crazy that that's what college football has turned into. But if you're trying to spend whatever it takes, and what's interesting is this week, as much money as we thought Texas Tech was spending, they're not up there with some of those others that are still going. They spent a lot, but their athletic budget and their NIL budget apparently isn't what some of those others are, although they did spend a lot. But if Sorsby's visiting Lubbock first, you can't let him leave. And Cody Campbell can spend the money, and clearly quarterback was an issue. Now, I liked their quarterback all year, but on that stage, he clearly wasn't ready. And you feel bad for a guy going through that. You do. I mean, the human nature of you at some point has to kick in. That was awful. And clearly not ready. Had that game been played in Lubbock, maybe the outcome is completely different. But it looked like a lot of Red Raider fans went to Miami. Saw some video from all the people that took their tortillas on the plane, and that happened. And it's football. You never know what's going to happen. I was stunned that Texas Tech played so poorly. I'm not surprised they lost, but I'm stunned that they played so poorly offensively. Oregon's good, and their defense is good. And I know a lot of people will make JMU jokes. JMU scored a lot of points in the second half against a lot of backup players for Oregon. Oregon, Indiana should be a lot of fun on Friday night. But if you're Texas Tech, you got to go spend the money. And the portal season is open. And I don't know what coaches do. I mean, it seems like everybody's in the portal. I'm tired of seeing all these portal announcements. Now tell me you're staying, right? Because right now I just assume everybody is in the portal. Everybody's being tampered with. Everybody can be bought. Everybody's going to go chase a dollar. And until they have some guardrails and some actual rules, some sort of salary cap, some sort of something, certified agents, all of these, you can't blame some of these guys for trying to go make some money. You know, and I keep seeing all these guys from UTSA that are hitting the portal that you thought might stay. But if they're getting offered that kind of money, and apparently dollars that we know UTSA doesn't have, even though Lisa Campos said a couple of weeks ago they're getting close to being able to get $4 or $5 million a year. Her words, not mine. Although, keep getting close. Tell us if we're there. I mean, do we need one of those big thermometer things outside the race facility so we all know? Maybe that would encourage somebody to write a check. Man, we're almost there. Here's a couple $100,000. Man, if Jeff Traylor could get one of those types, we'd be in business. And in the meantime, you see, their tight end going to visit A&M. You just automatically know they can't pay what A&M can. And it's, I don't know, nice that a program like that wants somebody that was here. It just goes to show you how good Jeff Traylor is at identifying and then helping to develop talent that these other schools are going to pay him big-time money to go. There's no loyalty. None. And the guys that do stay that are loyal, give them all the credit. And I don't know how you balance it. Man, you chose to stay here. Can we find a couple more dollars for you versus, all right, here's yours, but I can't give you more because I needed to go get some players around you. It's kind of like a business when they lose a good employee because that employee wanted a raise and you turned them down, and now you got to go find somebody else. Might not be as good, but it might cost you more. Weird how that works. Crazy. So along with the playoffs, we've got a couple more football games tonight, as today is the official last day of bowl season. So you got Navy right now. They're up 21-7 in the Liberty Bowl over Cincinnati. Then you have, what are the other games tonight? SMU and Arizona playing the Holiday Bowl, and Mississippi State, Wake Forest in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Something to keep an eye on. And again, if you're a football dude, you watch all the football. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, man, they got to compete with the Pop-Tarts Bowl as far as the entertainment and things that you do. And all the things that they'll put mayo on during this and then dump the coach in mayo. It's kind of crazy. So you got that tonight. Then you got the Spurs playing tonight against the Pacers in Indiana. No Wemby tonight, which by now everybody probably saw the video. Hyperextended his knee. MRI was clean, so they don't expect him to miss a ton of time. That's the good news. But, man, it looked bad at first. And I know when he was limping off, he mouthed to the crowd that he was fine. But, man, that looked bad. It's so scary with that dude. I mean, so tall and skinny, and when you see that, you just fear the worst, especially after seeing the Joker do something similar, and he's going to be out a month. I don't know how long Wemby's going to miss. They don't seem overly concerned. But they're also going to be, tonight, the Spurs will be without Devin Vassell. Spurs sent out a notice earlier. He had an MRI. Left adductor strain. No word on how long he will be out. They say that they'll update when warranted. And it is that time of year, early January, stuff like that, get them healthy, and, worry about the seeding. You just look where this team is right now and playing so much better, and the record is so much better than most of us thought it would be as the calendar flipped from 2025 to 2026. And I know Wemby's getting dangerously close to missing too many games to qualify for postseason awards. I know that's important to him, but him being healthy in late March, April, May, maybe we get some June basketball, that's the important thing for Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs. You look at this game tonight, no Wemby, no Devin Vassell. You want to make this game a lot more interesting for you while you're watching it. Make sure you're playing along on Underdog. You look at a Dylan Harper and what he could do, De'Aaron Fox, Steph Castle and assist numbers, and that's the beauty of playing on Underdog. You pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Get all your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And right now, Underdog, still through this weekend, has Underdog Unwrapped. All kinds of promos throughout the holidays, boosts, gimme picks, deal reveals, even some other surprises that are sprinkled in. So now is a great time to get into the game. And like I say, a lot of fun to play, and it's always fun to win money. And then, of course, the NFL this weekend. So download the Underdog app. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play